Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. S.N. Beg. I am working as Professor of Pediatric Cardiology. Today I will talk about update in acute rheumatic fever. Rheumatic fever is defined as a new or acute case which fulfills the modified Jones criteria. There may or there may not be cardiac involvement. However, rheumatic heart disease is a new or old case which has definitely cardiac involvement, which is documented either by reliable auscultation or by echocardiography. In Pakistan, we have a population of about 220 million, out of which two-thirds are in the age group of 5 to 15, which is the age group for acute rheumatic fever. Within this age group, two-thirds of the viral infections are the main etiology for the for the sore throat infections. However, one-third of these sore throat infections are caused by bacteria, the group A beta hemolytic streptococcus, and only 0.3% of them they develop acute rheumatic fever. Various studies have shown a high prevalence of acute rheumatic fever in our part of the world, as high as 7 per 1000 population. If we define, then by definition a definite acute rheumatic fever is an acute presentation which fulfills the modified Jones criteria, whereas a probable acute rheumatic fever means a case which do not fulfills the modified Jones criteria because of lack of either one major or one minor criteria, or there is a lack of evidence of group A streptococcal infection. But still, the acute rheumatic fever is the most likely diagnosis. For possible acute rheumatic fever, again there is missing of one major or one minor criteria, or the group A streptococcal infection is missing. But the diagnosis of acute rheumatic fever cannot be ruled out. We have seen that 20% of these cases they have recurrent episodes of acute rheumatic fever which leads to valvular damage in the heart, and we have seen that half of these patients they progress to rheumatic heart disease within the first 10 years of the initial episode, and one third of them they have severe valvular involvement. Like other African countries and South Asian countries, rheumatic heart disease is endemic in Pakistan. Globally, about 33 million of cases of rheumatic heart disease are there, and about 10 million disability adjusted life years due to rheumatic heart disease. In population based studies, as well as there are school based studies, and they have shown a prevalence as high as 22 per 1000 school children in Lahore, Pakistan. So the diagnosis of acute rheumatic fever is very crucial. It is in the early 1940s, Duke Jones defined acute rheumatic fever criteria, and various modifications has been done so far. In 1992 criteria, we have seen 5 major criteria and 5 minor criteria, plus evidence of acute previous streptococcal infection. Very recently in 2015, we have seen that for initial acute rheumatic fever, there has to be 2 major criteria, or 1 major criteria, or 2 minor criteria. Recurrent acute rheumatic fever may have 2 major criteria, or 1 major or 2 minor criteria, or even 3 minor criteria. However, for all these, either it be an initial fever, an acute rheumatic fever, or be a recurrence, there must be evidence of acute preceding group A streptococcal infection. In year 2015 criteria, the population has been divided into low risk and high risk population, and of course we lie within a area which has high risk for acute rheumatic fever. And within this area, we have seen carditis as a major criteria which could either be clinical or subclinical or so-called silent carditis. By silent carditis, we mean that on clinical examination there is no auscultatory finding, but however, by echocardiography there is involvement of valvular regurgitation. Again, in the high risk areas, instead of polyarthritis, now monoarthritis or polyarthralgia or polyarthritis is now a major criteria, whereas the chorea, erythema marginatum and subcutaneous nodules they remain as before. For subcutaneous nodules, remember they are relatively underdiagnosed, they are painless, they are on the extensive surfaces, and whenever they are there, there is definite cardiac involvement, and cardiac involvement is usually severe. Again, in high risk area, by 2015 criteria, instead of polyarthralgia, monoarthralgia is taken as a minor criteria, and a value of ESR of 30 is taken also as a minor criteria. However, whenever you have taken carditis as a major criteria, then you cannot take prolonged PR interval as a minor criteria. Similarly, if you have taken arthritis as a major criteria, then arthralgia, whether it be mono or poly, it cannot be taken as a minor criteria. Now bit details for the evidence of streptococcal infection. Throat cultures are positive in almost quarter of the cases, and they can be also positive for carrier as well. So, raised or rising ASO titers is practically taken as an evidence for streptococcal infection. But remember, history of sore throat is not sufficient evidence for acute rheumatic fever. Similarly, raised isolated isotiters is not sufficient evidence for acute rheumatic fever. The isotiters are raised in about 80% of the cases, so a negative value to not rule out the possibility of acute rheumatic fever. Remember the natural curve for these isotiters, they are raised by 2 weeks, they are peaked by 1 month, and they remain elevated for 3 months, and they gradually return to normal values by next 4 to 6 months. So by 2015 criteria, it is for the first time that echocardiography importance has been accepted and to detect the silent carditis or the so-called subclinical carditis in which there is no clinical findings but still there is echo evidence of valvular regurgitation. And monoarthritis or polyarthralgia is also taken as a major criteria, whereas monoarthralgia is taken as a minor criteria, and we of course we lie within the high risk population. As I told you before, that probable acute rheumatic fever there is missing of either one major or minor criteria, or there is lack of evidence of streptococcal infection, but still acute rheumatic fever is the most likely diagnosis. If you compare acute and recurrence attack, then carditis is most common presentation in both acute and recurrent attacks, whereas arthritis is more common in acute as compared to the recurrences. And whenever subcutaneous nodules are there, I told you before that they are associated with carditis, which is usually severe. Now we come on to the treatment part of the acute rheumatic fever. In latest guidelines by Australia developed in year 2020, they have documented that while you are waiting for the investigations, initial anesthesia, the drug which can be used for this purpose is paracetamol. It can be used as analgesic while you are waiting for the results, because the use of anti-inflammatory it may alter the AST titers levels and can affect the diagnosis. In children over 12 years of age, even trimol can be used in a dose of 1 to 2 milligram for severe pain of arthritis while waiting for the investigation. Once the investigations have arrived and you have reached the diagnosis of acute rheumatic fever, then symptomatic arthralgia or arthritis, it can be treated either by naproxen or by ibuprofen or by aspirin. This is for the first time that naproxen or ibuprofen has been taken as a treatment option for acute rheumatic fever arthritis. As we go further, there are certain changes as well in the secondary prophylaxis in the knee criteria by Australia in year 2020. There is higher dose of benzyl penicillin and lower dose for patients having weight less than 20 kg. Lower dose is used. Previously, the cut line was 27 kilogram. Now the cut line is 20 kilogram for lower doses and higher up doses. I briefly describe this table. For possible acute rheumatic fever, you may start the prophylaxis and revisit your diagnosis after 12 months. And if there are no symptoms, no signs, and the echocardiography is normal, then you may discontinue the secondary prophylaxis. Rest remains the same for probable or definite acute rheumatic fever. Now I summarize that acute rheumatic fever is endemic in Pakistan. It is a preventable disease, and morbidity and mortality can be decreased by early diagnosis and providing the appropriate and early treatment for the arthritis, carditis, and prevention of rheumatic fever remains the cornerstone to prevent the and reduce the morbidity and mortality. Thank you very much.